Come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is 11 a.m. on August the 6th, I believe, 2024. We have a busy show as always. We're going to go through what's been happening in the markets, whether we've had a recovery, where we're going to go now. We're going to go up or we're going to go down. We're going to go through all of that today, hopefully. Again, like I said yesterday, the stream yesterday was not the usual stream. Today, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to look at the same set of charts. We are going to, however, look at some best buys. I was thinking about this last night, and the poll question of the day is, did you buy the dip? If you haven't bought the dip yet, we haven't recovered. We are not fully back on track. We could still get rejected and come down to 47, 48,000. But that doesn't mean we can't look at what coins we should be picking up. So what we're going to do today is look at the AI tokens that I think are absolute certainties. We're going to look at DeFi as well. What DeFi tokens could you look at to pick up on the cheap? So we're going to have a look at them. We're going to have a look at a Jenna article about a new NFT project. We're not going to be very happy about that. I'm going to be honest. Ave Maria, we're going to talk about Ave, and then of course we're going to talk about the fireworks, all of that, and of course the X-Files. But before we begin, a few good mornings to people in chat. Velvet Rope is here, Kishan is here as always, Bullish Bull is here. If you are here, and this is your first time here, what we'd love you to do is smash the subscribe, the follow, the like, and everything else you can see on your screen. Bottom left-hand corner, we're just under 152,500 followers. Bottom right-hand corner, we still have our $74,000 target. I'm not changing that because of a small dip. Okay, 74,000 gets us back on track. And don't forget that this stream is sponsored by Mew, a cat in a dog's world. We will be doing weekly giveaways on Mew. Okay. So if you want to get involved, if you want to win Mew, you have to follow us. If you don't follow us, you're not going to get notified of when we do the Mew special. And that's going to be coming up. We were going to do it tomorrow, but the markets have corrected. We're not too happy about that, of course. So more than likely, by next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, we will be doing a Mew giveaway night. So make sure to follow us, or you will miss out on some free Mew. All that being said, let's go and have a look then at the markets. I can see Bitcoin is coming down a little bit, 54.8. It was at 56, I believe, when I checked first thing this morning. Market cap just under 2 trillion. I do expect us to go somewhere between 8 and 10 trillion. That is still a 4 to 10x by the end of this bull run. The bull run is not over. This is not the end of the bull run. We haven't even got started. So let's not panic too much about where we are right now. Let's worry about where we are next November. So Bitcoin coming in at 54.8. Ethereum still below the $2,600 and $2,900 that I predicted we'd get to on a downturn, coming in at 24.50. BNB under $500. Sol has retraced almost 4% in the last hour, but it's still $137. Remember, one of the things about dollar cost averaging in is you buy every day or every week and you pick up the prices as they go up and down. So if you've been dollar cost averaging in for the last 6 or 7 weeks and you did catch $160, $165 Solana, you would also have now picked up $115 and $130 Solana. So it gives you an average price. Now there are a lot of gainers. Brett is back. I said a few weeks ago that anything under 11 cents for Brett was a bargain. We're at 9 cents, 9.2, I believe. I'm going to wait for it to refresh. I think we're at about 9 cents. We are up 30%. Potenza is up 25. IOS is up 24. Ondo. Remember, Ondo came down to, what was it, 56 cents for Ondo. We're now back at 70 cents. It's an absolute steal at that price. Akash, Notcoin, a lot of big 24-hour gainers. And as you would expect, on a bounce day, all of the bottom coins are going to be the stable coins. PayPal, USDD, USDC, DAI, they're all down there. So it's been a green day across the board. And that is to be expected at the end of the day. When you have such a massive correction, you should expect a bit of a correction to the upside. And that goes for everything. Remember, a week ago, I said, do not feed the bear. Do not give the bears any confidence. Don't give them any inclination that they can get their greedy little mitts on any of our honey. And lo and behold, they came back with a vengeance this week. Now this, again, this is a bounce. It's not necessarily a retracement. Oh no, this is breaking news. We're going to get to the bounce in a minute. So this was 4 or 5 hours ago. Starting tomorrow, the US will start $30 billion per month treasury buybacks. The money printer has been turned back on. So $30 billion a month, $1 billion a day, or whatever you want to work it out as. That is what the Fed are going to start to do. The Treasury is going to start to do, very simply, to try and shore up the markets. Now, again, this isn't going to help, in my opinion. It's going to help in the short term because of the recovery, but long term, it really is just going to add to the debt. And 30 billion, it might sound like an awful, a token gesture, an awfully small amount, but that's 360 billion in a year. That's 1/3 of a trillion in a year. It does add up. And again, America is on its backside when it comes to things like that. Now the Nike, again, the Nike is up 10% today. It's had a bounce, but remember how far it's come down. It's lost 17%. It's lost, I think, 12% or 11%. So that's down 30%, and it's recovered 10%. Some people call these dead cat bounces. This could be the bottom. The bottom could very well be in. We don't know just yet. It's too soon. So at the bottom of the screen, you will see it's still over. We don't know if we're going to see break back towards 60,000. We don't know whether we're going to get rejected off 56 or 58,000. We're going to have a look at the charts. I'm going to give you some ideas, but we don't know. And because of that, we could very well go to 44,000, like I said yesterday. 44,000 is still on the cards. Even though we've had a bounce, it could be a dead cat bounce. Tom Smith, hey Mom, is my old room still open? All the crypto degens, All the leverage traders, all wrecked, except for the ones in our Telegram group, that is. They have not been wrecked. They have been making nothing but gains for the last week. What we are seeing now is a wealth transfer from panic sellers to high conviction buyers. Again, you should not be selling your Bitcoin at this moment in time. The Fear and Greed Index is the best understanding of when to sell. When fear and greed gets towards 60 and 70, you sell. When it is at the bottom, let me just very quickly check what the Fear and Greed Index is. It's a lagging indicator. That's the problem. I believe it was at 28, but I think this is slower, and I don't know why. So Fear and Greed is at 34. So a 34 Fear and Greed Index is not the time for you to be selling your crypto. Nayib Bukele, the president or prime minister of El Salvador, has gone brr because he knows the money printer is being turned back on. We said yesterday that the American government needed to do something, and we said interest rates would be cut. They haven't been cut. But what I think they're going to do is probably start to print money, which is the money printer. That's what they're alluding to. Good morning to a few people. Chris is here and Solo Sky is here. Good morning to you all. I hope you are well. Now then, has anybody else noticed, and I only noticed this yesterday and I pointed it out to my wife, don't you think Donald Trump is Bitcoin orange? I know he's called the Orange Man. I know people call him Mr. Orange, but he has an orange complexion that is very reminiscent of Bitcoin. So, could Donald Trump be the reincarnation of Bitcoin? Who knows? And as he said, if America doesn't control Bitcoin, then China will. We are going into the final race. The final race I've talked about before many times. That is nation states buying Bitcoin. We already have El Salvador, yes. We already have the UK, we already have China, we already have America holding Bitcoin. Hong Kong are now talking about holding Bitcoin. A trickle will become a flood. And remember, a national reserve does not mean that 100% of Hong Kong or America or the UK is held in Bitcoin. It's like collateral. So they will also hold oil. They will also hold gold. It's not the same way that the Dixie is the American dollar versus a basket of other fiat currencies, the pound, the Swiss franc, the euro. So when we talk about the strategic reserve currency for America, Bitcoin will make up a fraction of it. So don't suddenly think that all of America's reserves are going to go into Bitcoin. That's not how it works. They also hold cheese, by the way. They hold a strategic reserve of $3.4 billion of cheese. And if you don't believe me, go and look it up. I was going to make a cheese pun, but I'm not going to now. Probably best off if I don't. Good morning to Drop Dead and Packer is in chat. Good evening to you in New Zealand. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you are all doing incredibly well. Remember, if you're new here, please smash the like button and give us a follow. Colin, Ondo trade. Colin, you absolute pulled a blinder. I tell you now, there's been I'm trying to work it out. I think the only plays I've made this year, because obviously I packed my bags last year, the only trades I've made this year have been near Protocol and Ondo and a very small bag of Swarm. That's it. Because I've been prepared for this for a long time. So the Bitcoin MRV ratio, 30 days, hasn't been this low since November 2022. Remember, that was the FTX collapse. That period marked a bottom and an excellent buy opportunity. Again, you buy when there's blood in the streets. Be like Colin. What did Colin do yesterday? Colin bought Ondo at 57 cents. Ondo is now at 70 cents. I bought Ondo at 90 cents, $1, and $1.10 or $1.15. I can't remember which. My average is about $1. Am I sad that it's 70 cents? No, because my price target for Ondo is not 70 cents or $1.50. My Ondo target is a lot higher. So if you can get an opportunity to get into these coins at very reasonable prices, please do it. It's not financial advice, but you have to understand this is where you make your money. This is where you make your gains. We talked about this yesterday. If, for example, Bitcoin goes to $200,000, and I'm not saying it is, but if it did, $200,000 from $70,000 is a 3x, so 300%. If it goes to $200,000 from $50,000, it's a 4x. With a lot of these coins, if I'm buying my Ondo, let's say I buy my Ondo at $1 and it goes to $10, I've 10x'd my money. Colin got it at 50 cents. So Colin is going to 20x his return. I'm going to 10x my return. When you look at the reason you get these dips, it's because you absolutely maximize your returns. If you're buying Solana at 120, and let's say for argument's sake it goes to $1,000, that's a 9x, 8.5x, 9x. Call it a 9x for the sake of arguing. If I buy it at $200 or $190, say, that's a 5x. That is why you buy these dips, because of the multiplier effect of where those coins could, not will, could go in this bull run. You should always have your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. You should always have your top 10 coins, maybe your Solana, XRP, stuff like that. You should always have them. But the smaller coins as well. Swarm, for example. I bought Swarm at whatever it was, 50 something cents. I think it went down to 30 cents. Again, if that does a 10 or 15x from your 30 cents, I've still made 8x, but you've made 15x. That's how these things work. But let's move on to the charts we looked at yesterday. Remember, I'm not going to do this every day. This is not Groundhog Day. But when we're in this situation, it's important that we keep an eye on everything. And that's what I'm going to try and do. Casper, IOS, and Ada, nice picks. Packer, I bought Sol at $18. Again, I think I spoke to the Oracle Brogan yesterday about this, and I think he was buying Solana at about the same price, $12 to $18. We actually worked out that we were sending him half a Sol, and it was costing us $12, and that was only maybe a year and a bit ago. So he was buying half a Sol a week for $12. Say, it's come a long way since then, and hopefully it will go a lot higher. I was thinking about buying yesterday, but now it's gone up. Have I lost the opportunity? Mane Nayak, no, you haven't. What you have to understand is this could be a dead cat bounce. What that means is that the price retraces massively. Then we bottom, and then we have a relief rally. We'll go and look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute. What I would do if I was you, and I said this to somebody else who messaged me yesterday, you want to start dollar cost averaging in. So if you have, Mane, $100 to invest into crypto, and let's say you buy Bitcoin for argument's sake, you buy $10 every day for the next 10 days. So today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, if we go down to 44,000, then you will be buying 55, 50, 48, 46, 44, whatever it ends up at, then back again. And your average price might end up being $50,000. So you're not going to catch the bottom, but by dollar cost averaging, what you are doing is you're scraping the risk away from your investment. The same way as I've got a price target of $99 for Solana to buy. We didn't get there, we got to 112. We might go back to 99, or given that we're having quantitative easing, we might never see that again. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can say is if you dollar cost average in, and this is the bottom, then you have started buying the bottom. So it's difficult to say that is what you need to do. I'd rather say this is a strategy for you to hedge your bets, that it isn't the bottom and then you buy every day, or it is the bottom and you buy every day. That's the way you look at it. Good morning, Fran. So this is the liquidation heat map. As we can see, everything changed. We had $1 billion in longs wrecked yesterday. Today, we have 214 million in longs and 212 million in shorts wrecked. So we've not wrecked as many people as we wrecked the day before, but it's still $500 million in liquidations. That is why you should not use leverage trading at this stage of the market. And if you do, then on your head be it. I think the calf became an adult cow by now. Do you think it will jump over the wall before the end of the year? I do think that we are looking at. I had a chat with the Oracle last night. If the bull run is to end in April, then we're going to need to get a move on. Okay, we are going to need to move PDQ. I don't think we're going to end in April, but I made a video a few weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, giving you my kind of bearish predictions. And my bearish predictions, the bull run finishes at the end of April. Now we're in August. We've only got 8 months left. If that's the case, we're going to have to move. And yes, we can move. In 2 weeks' time, we could be at $75,000. In 2 months' time, we could be at $85,000. But we need to move. However, my original target has always been November. 18 months after the halving, I think November next year. That gives us plenty of time to recover from these dips. Remember, there are 6 or 7 30% corrections along the way. Between now and the end of the bull run, we're going to see this happen maybe 4 more times. So we should expect to see these dips. This isn't unusual for the market. However, whatever happens, we're going to have a conversation about it. And I do think we need to get a move on. I think if we go into next year at $65,000, we're going to struggle. I think we need to be going into next year above 70. So that's what I think anyway, Fran. Right then, now this is the DXY. These lines have been drawn for a while. We don't just draw lines for the sake of it. We have been talking about this up here and up here. The DXY has broken down, partly because of Japan, which is thankful, but partly because of the macro climate. Look what we did. Look what we did. We didn't just wick down to our trend line, but we have come back to this line of support, which is about 102.8, and now we're at 103. So the dollar has broken down against other currencies. That is normally bullish for Bitcoin. Not been too bullish for Bitcoin, has it? But then again, we've got macro problems. So what do we need to see from the DXY over the next few weeks? Well, clearly, we're going to bounce. We've seen it bounce here. We kind of saw it break down and break up and do this, which we would love to see here. What I think we will see is potentially some bounce up, and then we will get to this bull market support band, I suppose you can call it, and then I think we're going to get rejected and come back again. And that would take us to maybe to October, something like that. So I think we're going to get rejected at about 104.4, 104.5. That's, again, bullish for Bitcoin. We want a slightly weak US dollar because that has traditionally helped Bitcoin go on a rip. So the DXY is still looking good. We did come down to the levels that we said. If you go down here, you will see this lovely trend line, which goes back to July last year when we kind of started the bull run. I suppose that was the pit. That July was like the middle of the bear market. Then by October, we went on our rip. And I think, you know, potentially we've retested it. I think we're going to bounce off this. I don't think we're going to break through here. So we are going to come up. And obviously the DXY coming up isn't bullish for Bitcoin. But let's see if it gets rejected again. Let's see if it gets rejected again. So the DXY is looking okay. So that's one tick. Bitcoin dominance, we looked at yesterday, we're at 56%. Let's see where we get to. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are all well. So, Bitcoin dominance. Again, we haven't really changed direction. We are still absolutely tearing up. We've got as high as 57.3. And we're still going. And remember, the scenario is, I expected us to get to 56% by the end of the year. Ben Cowan, who is the Bitcoin dominance guru, he is targeting 60% by the end of the year. Now, why is this important? Because Bitcoin dominance tops out before the alts run. So we will do this, and then we will top out if we follow Ben's scenario. Now, that is potentially the end of the year. Then it will start to break down. Now, what is Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the crypto market held in Bitcoin. So 60% of crypto by the end of the year will be in Bitcoin. So that's bullish for Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin will at least hold its value. But then, traditionally, it breaks down. And when it breaks down, alts start to eat into the market share of Bitcoin. They start to become a bigger and bigger portion of the Bitcoin, of the crypto pie. So this is where the alt season happens, at this break. And we have seen it many times before. Now, I know what this looks like. I know we hit 73%. Okay? And that was 2019 and that was 2021. I know we got that high. But we've come a long way since then. We have more altcoins. We have stable coins to worry about. We have all of these things. Now, you will see that it breaks down quite dramatically from its rise. This time around, we have been very, very sensible. If you look at the way it's gone, it's been very, very sensible. It hasn't absolutely ripped. It's been sensible. And there's probably various different macro reasons for that. But potentially, we could do this and go higher before breaking down. Now, again, this breakdown here was brutal. And we don't know if we're going to break down that quickly. But if we're going to have an April cycle top, it doesn't give us a lot of time for these alts to rip. Whereas if we're looking at maybe November for the cycle top, that gives us, let me put another line in here, just so we know where we are. So I think we are going to top out roughly there, which you can't see because it's black. But there you go. I'll figure that out. But the point of the matter is, we're over here. If that's the cycle top, Bitcoin could carry on this run, get to here, and then break down. And look at the amount of time it would have to break down. We're basically giving it 10 months to break down. So, for the alts to pump, if we think about crypto is a pie, the more pie that is Bitcoin, the harder it is for the alts to absolutely explode. The other reason that we break down from 60% is that people take profits out of Bitcoin and put them into Ethereum, Solana, ADA, XRP, AVAX, whatever it might be. So they profit take from Bitcoin, put it into the alts, those alts rip up, people sell those alts, and then we're done. Maybe we'll have an NFT season, maybe we'll have, something else. But the point of it is that the profits are taken from Bitcoin, put into alts, the alts absolutely tear up to the upside, and then we sell. If we have a similar situation, Bitcoin, it doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin is going to top out in December. It means that's when its dominance of the market will top out, and then it will come down. Now, I tend to agree with Cowan that I think it's going to top out, but I think it's going to top out at 56. Now, I know I'm wrong because we've already got to 57. But it doesn't matter. I've still got my targets. Now then, here is another chart, and please go back in time. Please go back in time and find me talking about this from weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago. What did I say would happen to Ethereum? It would go to 0.04 against Bitcoin. So you would need 25 Ethereum to buy one Bitcoin. That is where I said it would go. Now, up here, I did say, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because we have the ETFs and we were up here and I was thinking maybe we bounce off here and maybe we do this. But God works in mysterious ways. And again, the charts don't lie. We came down and touched that line. And that is, for me, the goal of where we're going to get to. So I said we would get to 56% market dominance for Bitcoin. I said we'd get to 0.04 for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. We've done both of those things at the same time. Now, if I'm right, which I very, very much doubt, then we should start to see the alts and Ethereum start to grow faster than Bitcoin, if I'm right. But again, we're in August. It's a bit too soon, so I'm very wary to say that I'm right. What could happen instead is that I am wrong, which is probably very likely. We come back up to 0.48 maybe, and then we break down even further, and maybe my line is wrong. And maybe we come down here. Maybe we come down to 3.5 or something like that. That is a possibility. But it's uncanny how we hit 56% and 0.04 in the same week. Kabir. I think Kabir is Mr. Bear in our chat. The Bears will keep Bitcoin at $50,000 now. I don't think they will be able to. And the reason that they won't be able to keep it down is that it's only at this level because of a black swan. Black swans tend to play out over a very short period of time. And a black swan could have taken Bitcoin to 40,000, 35,000. But the second that those ETFs came in yesterday, they did $2 billion of trading in the first 3 hours. And when you've got ETFs trading $2 billion of an asset, it's very hard for bears to beat them. So yes, we could go back. And we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a bit. But again, when you see everybody giving up against Bitcoin, and when I mean everybody, I mean Solana and Ethereum, when they're giving up all their gains against Bitcoin, and we've got a macro environmental impact of Japan and everything else. Again, we're now, the money print has been turned back on. How is it going to stay at $50,000? I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to go down. It is, but how are they going to keep it there? I mean, come on. They've only got so much firepower, and they're up against BlackRock. Trader who called the May 2021 collapse says Bitcoin is setting up for the fourth quarter fireworks. Now, who could this be? It's Dave the Wave. I didn't even read this. Dave the Wave from Burnley. I love this guy. This guy is one of my heroes. He has probably the coolest crypto name outside of the Oracle, of course. He has predicted... Hang on one second. My little fobby thing has fallen off my mic. So he has told, his 145,000 followers on the platform, Bitcoin is setting up for the fourth quarter fireworks. Here we go, Dave the Wave. With Bitcoin price currently stuck in a multi-month range, we can easily forget that it's also currently pushing all-time highs, and where the current price was also first reached back over 3 years ago. Psychologically, we have become used to the price. The fact remains it's at a very high level for an extended period of time. The significance here is this range has provided relatively macro stability to the price. He's very true. That is failed to launch into a parabolic spike is, from a technical perspective, a positive, showing a more stable and technical advance in price without the threat of the post-parabolic collapse. I'm going to go through that in a minute. He said last month that Bitcoin's recent deep correction into 50,000 range could be beneficial. He's expecting 220,000 by the end of 2025. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Now then, let me show you what Dave the Wave is talking about. I might find a little icon of a bear, and I'm going to see if I can edit Kabir to have an actual bear next to his name. So when he comes into chat, you can all throw honey at him and distract him. No. This isn't what I'm looking for. What? There we go. Try again. Here we go. Okay. Let's get the chart up. Show you what I'm talking about. Right. This is our bull flag. Now, again, we could do this on a longer time frame, like the weekly. Okay? But I'm not going to bother with that. And yes, it looks an awful lot like a cup and handle. We are in this range. And we have been in this range. And we are at this range, which is 54.7. Now remember what we said. You can have wicks below the bull market support band. And we've covered this before. You can drop below. Okay, you can wick into it. You can go below it. It's not the end of the world if you do, but it's short term. So for Kabir, what Kabir is saying is that the bears are going to keep us in this range. That is what Kabir is talking about. Now, what I have said yesterday is if we have max pain for me is coming in at $44,000. Okay, that is my max pain, $44,000. Anything below that, and we are starting to look towards $37,000. Okay, that's a very scary number for a lot of people, I admit. But let's not worry about that yet. We're not there. So 44,000 is my max pain. But look at what we have done. We've had a massive, massive shock to the system. And a global macro environmental incident has happened, a black swan. And we are now back in our range. And again, my range is not necessarily accurate. You know, I could probably redraw this and make it way more accurate. So it's finger in the air. The point of the matter is, when you come to the bottom of a range, what do you tend to do? You tend to go up. And you tend to go up reasonably quickly. So if we, for example, retrace this, okay, and we just drag that, if I can get hold of it, if we drag that along there, okay, that takes us back towards $67,000 by the middle of August. Would you take $67,000 by the middle of August? Of course you would, because we're at 55. So of course you would take 66,000. And again, this is not TA. This is just me copying the movement of the last drop and pump that we had. Packer, do not worry. Do not worry. Just keep throwing honey at Kabir and we'll be fine. Just distract him. So again, you know, we could do something like that. If we draw it from wick to wick, so if we go from here and we go all the way up to here, for example, where would that give us another retest of this line? Probably by the end of August, we could be back at $70,000. Again, would we take that? I certainly would. Of course I would. $70,000 by the end of August. Perfect. So don't think we're going to go down, because when you think we're going down, we go up. And when you think we're going to go up, we go down. It's how it works. It's like, I mean, you could follow this chart, okay? It's over. We are so back. It is really over. We are so back. We are so back. Look how back we are. Oh no, it's over again. Here we go. 200,000 incoming. Oh my God, it really is over now. Okay? That is natural human behavior. I said it yesterday. You are naturally your predilection is to fear, fight, and flight. And when we start to come down to these prices, you've got to train yourself to realize it's not over. Okay? Now, if we did this, okay, if we started to do this and broke everything, okay, I'd be pretty damn worried. I would be worried, okay? Because we would be retracing to as close to the bottom of the bear market as possible. I'd be really worried if we came down here, okay? And these colours are actually pretty accurate. So as long as we're in the green, I'm happy. And that green comes down to 40,000. If we get down to orange, I'm concerned, okay? I'm getting concerned that we're not going to have time to rally back. If we go into the red, it is over. It really is. I mean, it's not over for Bitcoin. It's not over for crypto, but it's over for the bull run. The bull run ain't coming back from $30,000. Kabir rams with bear. I think, Packer, I think Kabir is a bear. I think he's called Bear Khan, which I think was a character from Jungle Book, but I'm not too sure. So I think he could be. He is Kabir, exactly. So I think we could be back at 66, 69,000 by the end of the month. I think you'd all then be happy. Now, what do we have to look out for? We're going to have a lot of resistance along the way. That's what we need to worry about. Now, where do those resistance points come in? For me, the bottom of the bull market support band is 62,000. We're going to have a tough time getting above 62,000, I think. If we look very recently, we broke down, we got stuck, and then we broke down before we broke through. So again, this could happen. We could come up, we could hit that, we could come down, and then we could come up again. Again, that is always going to happen. We're never just going to go straight up. This was, let's not forget, this was a black swan, which is funny really, because when it happened over here, this wasn't really a black swan. So the question is Bitcoin just using these events to manipulate the price? And when I say Bitcoin, I mean the money makers. Are they using the price? Sorry, are they using these events to move the price? Because that's the same move. If you look at 71.5 to 56 is 15,000. From 70,000 to 54,000 is 15,000. It's a $15,000 move. We did it without a black swan and we did it with a black swan. So the question then is the black swan to blame? Or, like politicians, have they taken advantage of the news to push the price down there? Think about that. That is a distinct possibility. Just my luck, I get in at the end of 2021. Survival still guaranteed, but high in 2025. And now people saying we've had the top. We've not had the top. You don't top in August. Just think, when did we have the halving? Was it April the 20th? Was that the halving about there? I think. Was it April the 20th, I think? So that's the halving. And what have we done since then? We've rattled around like a skeleton in a tin. That's what we've done. The question is, why have we rattled around? And if you listen to some of the clever people out there, it's because the ETFs brought us too high. That's what happened. And if you listen to the clever people again, they give you a price. They said we should be at $40,000 to $45,000 by now, but the ETFs have inflated the price. So maybe we are ahead of schedule at 55,000. Maybe we are. Maybe we should be $10,000 lower, but it is what it is. Not a lot we can do about it. Now then, we've only got a few minutes Should we look at some more charts or should we do some articles? Let's look at ETH for a minute. We should probably do some articles, but I really don't want to be bothered. Now then, unlike Bitcoin, which we've just seen it's got back into its range, Ethereum hasn't. Ethereum is lagging down here. Why is that? In my opinion, it's because we have so much sell pressure still coming in from Grayscale, and it is starting to slowly fade. But Bitcoin had its sell pressure with the ETF. That was a long time ago, 4 months ago. Look at Ethereum. It only just got the approval 3 weeks ago. So it's still going through the pain of Grayscale selling. So this is not necessarily unsurprising that we are down here. If you look, whereas Bitcoin hit here, came down and hit here, and then came down, Ethereum hasn't. And I think the reason that we struggled here was the ETF. And I think Grayscale selling has pushed us a little bit lower. And I think it's going to just take us a little bit more time to get back into this range. But it will happen. Of course, it will happen. Ethereum isn't a dead duck. The numbers on Ethereum are still incredibly good. And again, all that's happening is Grayscale is negating the rest of the other ETFs. Good morning, Tariq. Has Quant got a future? The market cap is quite low. I love Quant. Quant is an exceptional cryptocurrency. However, the market doesn't like it. That's the problem. The market doesn't like it. And because of that, you can buy it. But I mean, if the market isn't going to be buying it, then I don't know. I reviewed it over a year ago, and I thought it was exceptional. But again, maybe it's going to be one of these that doesn't have its bull run until 2029. It's got a very low circulating supply. I don't even know, what is Quant's price? Is Quant... Let's have a look at Quant. Quant's at $59. I mean, back here, if we go back a little bit, just to show you where Quant was, forget the bull run. That isn't relevant. Look at where Quant was. And do you know what? That lad changes all of the colours to... There we go. All of my colours. Right, so back up here, January, it was at 160. December, 154. 153 in March. But look at that. I mean, that ain't good, is it? That isn't good. I like Quant. I'm really a big fan of the project. But again, it's that thing, isn't it? It's de facto de jure. What is the best technology against what is the most popular technology? And you can like the best technology in the world. You know, Bitcoin, let's not forget, Bitcoin is not the best blockchain in the world for anything. For speed, it's probably the best decentralized, it's probably the most secure. But in terms of what it actually does, speed and everything else, I mean, no, it's not, is it? So for me, I don't think it's about what's best. I think it's about what is the most popular, what's got the most adoption. And that's why Solana is always going to succeed. I have seen so many hit pieces about Solana. It isn't funny. And the majority of that information is correct. The circulating supply, how the transactions are processed. I get all of that. You know, I take it on board. But show me a blockchain that's perfect. There isn't one. Ethereum's got problems. Bitcoin's got problems. You can't find the perfect blockchain. ADA maxis will say it's ADA. Sol maxis will say it's Sol. ETH maxis will say it's ETH. They are all, I'm going to say it with an L, they are all cults. Okay? They are cultish in their behavior. And for me, I don't want to join a cult because you end up being blinkered to the outside world. You know? And that's my issue. So Solana, one last check. Because I know somebody's in chat. Look at what we got rejected off. We got rejected off that 186 level. We've come all the way down. 111 was an amazing price to get. However, because everything is still attached to Bitcoin, we are below the bull market support band. And we didn't break it here. So we could potentially do this and come down. And if we do that, and we go up here, then we could potentially come back to 117. So if I was going to buy more Solana, I would dollar cost average in at these prices. That's what I would do. We are going to come up to resistance below the bull market support band. I do think the Fed, the Treasury, printing money, I do think that is going to pump the markets a little bit and maybe fend off some real contagion. So for me, 138 is a good price. But look at this price that we've got, the line on here, this 119. It's held since we broke it in March. We had it as resistance. We broke it. We've tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. We've tested that line. And again, we've closed above it 6 times. So I think baseline at the minute is about 120 for Solana. So if you can get Solana in this range, or even a wick down, and I know I've got this here at 99, but if you can buy in this range, I think it's a great price for Solana. I really do. And I would be looking at it. Sol needs to test my $100. Well, I've got a $99 target, Kabir. I think if we have a $44,000 Bitcoin, we are going to see a $99 Solana. And that's why I'm saying dollar cost average in, because you don't know if you're going to get that wick down again. I know I'm saying that the money print has been turned on in America. I know the Nike has bounced, and I know that the American markets will bounce today. I know all of this, but it could be a dead cat bounce. And for those of you that don't know what a dead cat bounce is, let me very quickly show you. If you have a chart where we're doing really well, we've got some levels of support that become, resistance that become support, and we do this kind of thing. If we start to do this, and we move like that, as the S&P has done, and then something globally happens, we have a black swan event, and we come crashing down like this, what you have is what's called a dead cat bounce. I can't move it any further. And a dead cat bounce is where you do that. And that is a dead cat bounce. And do you know why it's called a dead cat bounce? Because even a dead cat bounces. And that is what we need to be very wary of right now. Okay? We need to make sure that this is not a dead cat bounce. And I'm not saying it is, but again, I keep saying I don't have a crystal ball. You know, I didn't see Japan putting interest rates up and causing contagion. I did see, obviously, inflation. I did see all the other things, but it takes one thing. And that one thing can be anything, by the way. Everybody's going, well, what's caused this drop? Nothing's caused this drop. We talk about Buckaroo a lot. Buckaroo is a game where you have a plastic horse and you put lots and lots of things on the horse, and eventually it will trigger it like a mousetrap, and everything will go up, just fall off the horse. And that works both ways. And the Japan interest rate hike, the withdrawal of funds out of US dollar to cause the dollar to come down, that started a snowball effect. But it didn't have to be that. It could have been Iran. It could be Taiwan. So when you look for reasons for things, you have to understand that just because that is the reason, it's not the fault. It's the trigger. It's the match that's thrown to the side in a dry forest that starts the forest fire. The match is responsible for starting the fire, but the forest being dry is the reason for the fire. And that's the same with any market, whether it be stock market, whether it be crypto, whether it be bonds, anything. It's all down to moments. And that moment just starts a cascade, but it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything that starts it. So don't worry, don't think, oh, Japan's to blame this time, or, Donald Trump is to blame this time. Nobody's to blame. It's just the trigger that of all of that built up liquidity, all of that built up leverage has now gone. Now we're going to move on because we don't have a lot of time. So we're going to scrap everything and we're going to move to best buys because I want to get through some of these. Right, let's get on with this. Kabir just loves the cartoon. He does, of course he does. He likes to be a bear. Right then, so I'm going to show you, because I've noticed that not many people are doing this. I've been watching my, obviously, competition to see what they're talking about, and they talk about the same coins in the bear and the bull. And obviously that makes me believe that they are clearly being paid to do this. Now, you can clearly see on my screen, we are sponsored by Mew. I'm telling you, I'm not going to hide that fact. But today, we're not looking at meme coins, we're looking at DeFi and AI. I'm going to very quickly go down and pick 3 of each and say, if I had $300, I would buy these 3 tokens. And it's not financial advice, this is what I would do in this situation. The first one, without any shadow of a doubt, and there's a thing on the right-hand side that you can't see, which is the 30-day. Oh, yeah, it's just on the screen there. Okay. Near Protocol is down 24%. Artificial Superintelligence is down 28. Render is down 31. Graph is down 25. Akash is down 27. So they are all down roughly the same amounts. So there's no standout top AI token that's been crushed, which gives you an opportunity. There are coins that are only down a fraction, like Golem is only down 3, IOS is only down 1. That was a quick lag. Okay, we're back. So what would I buy? Near Protocol, number 1. Yes, I would be buying $100 of Near Protocol. Number 2, I would obviously buy ASI. I've talked about it a lot. Artificial Superintelligence. I cannot believe it's 85 cents. My price target for that is $5. And that's not the end of the bull run, $5. That's my price target for it this year. I think at least $3. So that's a 4x from where we are now. Near Protocol, in theory, at this moment in time, should maybe somewhere between $6 and $8. That is only a 2x from where we are now. I know that. But the market cap is substantially higher. It would put it at 8 billion. ASI, a 4x from where we are now, would also put it at 8 billion. They're my 2 top picks of this. Now, the interesting one is Render. Render was coming down before the correction. And I don't know whether I would pick Render, in all honesty. If you look at the bounce back ability of the likes of Render is only up 14%, Potenza is up 30%, Akash is up 24%, EOS is up 24%, the Graph is up 10%. These top 2 aren't up really anything. So for me, it would be Near and ASI. I think they're really good prices. And then further down, I did a review of EOS, and therefore I'm going to pick EOS. It wasn't a paid review, by the way. It was free. I didn't get paid for the review. So I would pick those 3, Near, ASI, and EOS networks. They would be my 3 picks. Again, it doesn't matter which ones we pick. They're all down. But in the bull run, you want to be picking the ones that potentially have the most upside. So although they will probably all return 50% of the price in the next few weeks, it doesn't mean they're going to go and do a 10x. All of them are going to do a 10x into the bull run. DeFi, how long do we have left? We've still got a couple of minutes. Brilliant. Again, some of these prices are absolutely ridiculous. Chainlink, under $10. My target for Chainlink is 80 to 100. That's an 8x from today. If you don't own Chainlink, and this is not financial advice, please go and look at the project and understand how it works and how everything... It is like Cisco. I don't know if any of you know how the internet works, but at one point Cisco created 97% of all the routers in the world. So everything in the world that was on the internet went through Cisco. Chainlink is the oracle, the deep in, the RWA. It's the pick of how we get real world into the blockchain. So whether it be prices of stocks, whether it be transacting safely between blockchains, moving money between blockchains, whether it be onboarding companies to the blockchain. Chainlink is there. It's been building for years. It's $10. That's my number one pick. My number two pick would be Uniswap. It's down 30%. It's at $5.60. Uniswap is the number one DEX. As a token, it is going to do massive numbers in the bull run. But as I've said time and time again, it makes its money out of transactions. And if those coins go up in value, the percentage it takes and the volume will also go up. But in a bear market, it will go down. So Uniswap is a hold for the bull run. But you're not going to marry these coins. You're not married to them. Okay? Uniswap would be number two. And then if I had to pick a third one, that's a tough choice. I don't want to go too far down, but I'm going to go for Jupiter. I mean, it's a $1 billion market cap. They have agreed to burn 30% of the supply, which will happen over the next 6 months. They make an absolute fortune. They're an aggregator, which means they're not a DEX. They aggregate other DEXs, but they do lots of other things as well. And for me, Jupiter at this moment in time should be $2.50. So that's an easy 3x from here. I think from here for the next few weeks, I think Chainlink will get back to maybe $15 to $20. So again, not massive numbers, but you're buying that for the bull run. You're buying Jupiter for the bull run. You're buying Uniswap for the bull run. When we look at meme coins tomorrow, we're going to look at quick win meme coins. If the markets have retraced tomorrow, they'll be even cheaper. If the markets recover tomorrow, they'll still be cheaper than what they were a week ago. So we are going to look at more of these, and I'm going to pick out 3 that I would buy. You're going to say, why haven't you picked Stacks? Why haven't you picked Maker? Why haven't you picked Injective? There's reasons. Some coins just stand out to me as safe bets. And this isn't the channel of DGen plays. If you want that, go and find a 20-something who's got a 25x leverage on Stacks if you want to talk about that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you to buy things that I think are going to do well. And it isn't financial advice. It's only my personal opinion. Kabir, Bonk, is meme coin quick money? Meme coins are a quick way to make or lose all of your money. Let me put it that way. So let me have a quick show. Because we are sponsored, ladies and gentlemen, by Mew, as I have pointed out to you twice already today. If we go and have a look at, hopefully this will update. There we go. We'll wait for it all to update. Bonk is a steal at 1.3 billion. Dog with Hat is getting down to the point where it's worth looking at buying. Again, the recovery of some of these coins is excellent. Cat is at $331 million. May I point that out? And they are sponsors of the channel. May I also point that out? I think actually it's a higher market cap. I don't think it's refreshed. So we are sponsored by a multi-million pound meme coin, and we're ever so grateful to be sponsored. And we will be giving away Mew. But as I hope you understand, we're not going to be giving away Mew in the next few days. We're going to be giving it away when all of this noise has gone. Because at the minute, what people don't want to do is tune in and watch an hour about meme coins. They want to see what's happening in the markets. And I understand that. And I'm here to try and make you feel better. Because I understand a lot of people watching and a lot of people who message me. I'm the only person, well, not the only person. They probably listen to other people. But I'm one of the only people I listen to talk about crypto. So when something dramatic happens, they want to know why it's happened. So I have to understand that the stream needs to change. And I'm not going to go off about meme coins. But I tell you what, Brett at 9 cents. What a bargain. That is an 11-cent coin minimum. It's a bargain. Mew, sorry, is a I wouldn't say it's 1 cent yet, but it's getting towards 1 cent coin. So that could probably 2x in the very near future. Bohm should double in the near future. Bonk is probably down. That will double in the future. Dog with Hat was at 4.2 billion. It's now at 1.3. You do the maths. Doge, again, doesn't move as much as others because of the market cap. Shiba doesn't move. But we'll look at memes tomorrow. I'm not going to come on here and tell you what memes to go. But yeah, Packer, are we getting a competition show now that we have a sponsor? Yes, we are, Kabir. We are going to have a Mew night. We're going to have a Mew night where we talk about all things Mew. We're going to talk about how to buy Mew. We're going to talk about how to buy Mew on a DEX. We're going to talk about the project. We've been sent some videos that we're going to talk about. Mew has its own game coming out. They have their own studio. It's not going to be a meme coin for much longer. It's going to be, I categorize them as utility coins, like Bonk is utility coin. So Mew is going to have its own special night. It was going to be Wednesday, but it didn't happen. On Saturday, we were planning to do it on Wednesday. We're not doing it at the minute. We're going to do it when the markets have calmed down, and maybe a week on Wednesday, maybe 2 weeks on Wednesday, but it's going to be this month. It's going to be August, okay? And we will be giving you a bag of Mew, okay? And that's going to be what we do on the show. We're going to give Mew away. I don't know how many we're going to give away, but we're going to give away some Mew. So you need to make sure that you are subscribed to have the chance to win. And that is it. I am off because I am... how much is Brett right now? Brett is 9.3 cents. And again, be very careful, okay? They look really cheap now. But if we dump again, they'll go even cheaper. Now, Bitcoin is holding 55,000. Okay? If we hold 55, 56,000 for a day or two, then we are going to go up. But we've got to get through this contagion. We've got to let it wash out. We need to see where we go. But also, don't forget, another thing I need to point out. You always get cat coins. I have Maneki winnings. Oh, yeah, you do. It's very true. Yes, well, we're going to give some away. English riots come to an end. I do. I also agree with that. I think the problem is, I'm not going to get political. I think the problem is that when you ignore people, and that's everybody, when you ignore everybody for so long, the only way they have of expressing themselves is by rioting. And that's both sides. So, you know, I don't take sides on this because I can see valid points from both sides. And what I would say is they're blaming each other, but politicians are always to blame. What do I always say? If a politician's lips are moving, they are lying. And there are the odd exception. I know there are the odd exceptions to that rule. But as a whole, politicians are only out for themselves. And that goes for Donald Trump. And that goes for Joe Biden. That goes for Kamala Harris. They are only in it for themselves and their party's decisions. They don't care about you. And that's the truth. You know, I've studied politics since I was 16. I did politics at college. That is 34 years of studying politics. And in 34 years, I can probably count on one hand politicians which have been good for their countries. And the reason is that power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. So whereas you may have had good intentions with Margaret Thatcher, or whereas you may have had good intentions with George Bush, or Clinton, or whoever, when they're in power for so long, they become corrupted by power, and not corrupted by dark forces and elites and all that kind of thing. They get corrupted by the power. It happens everywhere. And I'm just hoping that people like Nayib Bukele from El Salvador, he's one of my great hopes. I hope he doesn't become corrupted. Milei in Argentina is another one. I think you can count them on one hand, and that's the key. But anyway, I am back, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 hours. Because I'm going to cover let me go and have a look how I can find it. I'm going to cover an AI token, hopefully at 2 o'clock. Just let me check. very quickly. I am covering. There we go. I'm covering Marada AI. Okay. I can't bring it on the screen because it's got a logo. Marada AI, I will be covering in an hour and a half to 2 hours. So make sure to tune in for that. Fran is watching the show with his beautiful wife. I get coffee to be a perfect moment. No politics, exactly. Yes. What I would say is that if your wife understands 50% about what I'm saying and your wife doesn't know anything about crypto, then hopefully I've done my job, because I am not here to make things difficult for people to understand. I am here to hopefully explain sometimes fairly complex things in a very simple way. And it is a skill. It's not easy to do that. And also, censorship nowadays, you wouldn't believe the words I can't say. You can't say, you can say pandemic, but you can't say the C word, for example. You can say conflict, but you can't say the W word. So you have to be very careful about how you talk about things. But anyway, I am back as soon as I can be, hopefully in an hour to two, when I cover that project. And it is a sponsored review. Again, I am always going to be transparent with you. It is a sponsored review. I am paid to review the project. I am not paid to tell you it's a good project, and I am not paid to tell you to buy that project. I am paid to review it. So as always, I will go through the facts and I'll give you my opinion at the end. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. I will see you all, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Take care, everybody. If I don't see you in an hour and a half, have a great day. Bye-bye.